All right, good morning, everyone. My name is Greg Over, and I'm the Director of Student Activities here at the University of New Haven. Welcome to UNH. You're going to hear a little bit more right now about some student services from our panel that are offered to you as graduate students. But before we get into that, I just want to stress to you as graduate students that any of the services that we offer on campus are open to all students, whether they're undergraduate or graduate. So you're going to learn a lot about a lot of our services we offer, not all, but a lot of the services, but they are all available to all students here, both undergraduate and graduate. So before we begin, I'm just going to ask the panel real quickly to introduce themselves, and then we'll start with some questions. So we'll start with Stevie Mack, who you all met already.
Steve Macchiarolo, Director of Grad Student Engagement.
Ryan Hagan, Director of the Campus Recreation Services.
Sharon Griffin, Coordinator of Health Services.
Karima Jackson, Director of International Services.
Matt Caparell, I'm the Director of the Career Development Center.
Great, thank you guys. All right, the first question is for Steve. Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about what services are available to graduate students?
Perfect. So as you learned from the previous panel and as you'll learn from this panel this afternoon, there are lots of different services available to you as graduate students at UNH. The purpose of my office, the Office of Grad Services, is really to kind of be here, like I said earlier, to serve as your liaison. So if you have those specific questions or issues that might come up, I'm kind of your go-to person to answer any questions you might have and put you in touch with the right department. So, like we said earlier, there will be a resource fair this Wednesday, which, I encourage many of you guys to take advantage of. A lot of the different on-campus services will be there. We will also have some off-campus vendors here, local companies that will be here as well. So you can learn about some of the different benefits of being a grad student at UNH. But again, we are here to, whether it's to help you, find an off-campus apartment, or if you're having an issue with the shuttle schedule, or an issue with a class, that's really what our office is here to provide. We also are here to organize different programs and events throughout the year, such as grad orientation, our grad winter fest, which will be coming up over the next 2 weeks, starting today, and other programs throughout the year, such as professional development opportunities and social networking opportunities for all of our graduate students.
Great. So if any questions come up or you need anything, Stevie Mack is the man to find. He can help you, and if he doesn't have the answer, he'll get you to the person that does. So he's definitely a good person to know with any question that you have. All right, next question is for Sharon. Sharon, can you tell the graduate students why we need to have completed physical and immunization records on file?
Yes, for all full-time students, we need a physical and your immunizations consisting of 2 MMRs, 2 varicelles, which is chickenpox, or the disease, or anything in terms of immunity. You could have lab work. We need this because it's a state law. For full-time, part-time, you do not need the physical, but it's a state requirement, so all students do need it.
Great, thanks, Sharon. How many of you are international students? Wow, nice, good job. So this question's for you guys. Karima, if the international students want to get a driver's license, how do they go about doing that?
Sure. Everybody checked in either on Friday or today. In order to get a driver's license, it does take a couple of weeks processing time to get all of your immigration paperwork and information over to the DMV. It's a computer database that we update. It usually takes us about 2 weeks after you get here to get your DMV information updated. What you can do in the meantime is you can come to the office in Eklund 200 and you can request information about taking a driver's course. It's an 8 hours driver's course. It costs about $125. You will need to take that course, so you can do that while you're waiting, and then we will also give you a support letter. But you won't be able to go to the DMV for at least another 2 or 3 weeks.
Great, thanks, Karima. Matt, what services does your office offer for graduate students?
Well, thanks, Craig. And first, I'll welcome everyone to the university. It's good to see you all here for your graduate studies. Within the Career Development Center, really all of our services are available to graduate students. And so our services run the gamut of helping our students figure out what they want to do when they grow up, to resumes and cover letters, to internship and job searching, how to conduct an interview, how to network, how to manage your LinkedIn accounts, and really anything related to looking for an internship or looking for a job is the type of work that we provide to our students and certainly to our graduate students as well. What we find are the most utilized services of our graduate students are resume and cover letter reviews, mock interview and interview training to be prepared for opportunities that come up, and then connecting with employers through internship and job searching opportunities. And so we're readily available to really answer any questions that you have about your career, how to get it started, how to leverage your graduate studies into your resume and into your career and internship search, how to find those internship and experiential based opportunities, and then really how to communicate them to employers through your written communication and your personal face-to-face communication with employers to leverage your experiences, really showcase who you are, and get your career started.
Great, thanks, Matt. All right, Ryan, the graduate students saw a picture in the opening video of the rec center that we have. So can you talk a little bit about the services that are offered there for the rec center, and do graduate students need to purchase a membership?
First of all, the membership, there is no membership fee. The membership fee is included in all the tuition for all part-time and full-time students. You will need to bring in your UNH ID to activate your membership upon your first visit to the facility. We offer intramural sports, club sports, fitness classes, personal training, drop-in exercise. We can set up basketball, volleyball, badminton, indoor soccer, floor hockey, and a multitude of activities. So whatever you want to do, we probably have the space for you to do it in.
Great, thank you, Ryan. All right, back to Sharon. Sharon, what services does health services offer? Is there a cost, and what are your hours?
Okay. I'll start with our hours are Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 4:30 to 5, and then on Friday, 8:30 to 4:30. We do provide doctor's hours 3 days a week, and we have an APRN full-time and part-time. So I would suggest coming and finding out the hours. If you're sick, you could come see the doctor there. We also have a women's clinic 2 days a week by appointment. The other ones are not by appointment. So for sick visits, you could come and it's done like a clinic, and you just come in when the hours are there. And we have nurses there to if you have any problems that you want to talk about or come back. We also have testing, STD, and other testing. And the cost, there is no cost. If for some reason we do have to send out lab work for whether it's a throat culture or a urine culture, we would need for you to have insurance, or it would cost. But the health services is free, no fee to see the doctors there.
Great, that's awesome. Thank you, Sharon. Matt, I know you talked a few minutes ago about all the services that your office offers to our graduate students. Are they also available to our international students as well?
Yeah, they are. I mean, to us, we have students, right? So every service that I just talked about previously are also available to our international students. The big, I guess, difference or things that international students need to know about has to do with their work authorization status, and I'm sure Karima will talk to you and has talked to you a lot about that, and we talk a lot about that as well. So wherever you are within your course of study or how long you've been on your visa will determine when your authorization kicks in and able to do either your curricular or practical training, which is essentially your internship tied to your academic course of study, or then moving on into sponsorship or your optional practical training after you complete your academic studies. So you will need to work with Karima's office, international students' offices, very closely with keeping track of your documentation and understanding the federal rules and regulations related to work authorization. So one of the first questions that my staff will ask of our international students is, what is your current authorization status? And that really will determine, how far we can connect you with employers or what types of options are available to you at that particular point in time. So you do want to work with Karima on that to understand that, where your authorization stands. And then, once we understand that from you, then all of our services are available, and we'll work as hard as we can to help you get opportunities.
Great, thank you. So it's a good transition into Karima's next question, which is, Karima, if an international student wants to work as an F1 student, what are their options and what do they need to do?
Sure. Okay, so like Matt said, you do need some type of work authorization. I'm going to go over it briefly because right after this session, we have a full international student session where I'll go into detail. But pretty much, I guess the easiest thing to way to say it is if you don't have authorization from my office, it is illegal work. So there's a few options where you can work on campus. You will have to come to my office so we can help you with your paperwork regarding getting your Social Security number. All international students are allowed to work on campus. When it comes to off-campus work, you have to have authorization. Right now, it's your first term here, and you have to be a full-time F1 student for at least 1 year before you can do an off-campus internship. So that means next January, that's when you can start to come to me in my office and ask about what's called CPT, which is Curricular Practical Training. Curricular means you're enrolled in an internship course and you're doing the work related to that course. At the end of your program, when you graduate, you're eligible for what's called optional practical training, or OPT. That means that you're allowed to work for 1 year in your field of study anywhere that you want in the U.S. But like I said, we're going to go over it in more detail in the next session.
Great, thank you.
Ray, can I jump in?
Absolutely.
One thing? Just when we talk about on-campus employment, I think it's important to understand that while you are eligible to work on campus, it doesn't mean you are guaranteed to work on campus. On-campus employment is very competitive, I guess would be the best way to put it. And there's various classes of on-campus employment, right? There's graduate assistantships, which are part of your financial aid package. Then there's what they call work study, right? So this is for undergraduate level students, part of their financial aid package. And for both graduate assistants and work study, it's part of their federal financial aid. And so if they want to work, we are required by federal law to have them work on campus. So majority of our on-campus positions go to those two populations. And then the final population is part-time work that comes out of departmental budgets, and those get very, very competitive. And so you can always come to the Career Center. We have an online site that we post any on-campus positions that we know of. But just understand that it is a competitive process. A lot of people want to work on campus, graduate and undergraduate, and there's no guarantee that there are positions available.
Great, thank you, guys. Ryan, a little bit more on the Rec Center for our graduate students. Can you talk a little bit about the classes that are offered, the equipment, the programs, the services that come out of the Rec Center?
Well, our biggest program is probably our drop-in, where you can just basically come in and use whatever equipment you would like. We have a full array of cardio equipment, a full array of selector eyes and free weight equipment as well. We offer a full wide variety of group exercise classes, yoga, Zumba, spinning, and a few other classes with that. We post our schedules per the semester. So right now we're on our winter intersession schedule, and then we'll be moving at the end of the intersession to our spring schedule. We typically offer around 30 group exercise classes per week. Rec Sports is probably our biggest program. It's where you can get a group of friends together and form a team and play a competitive game against other students from the university. And then finally, we also do club sports, which is pretty much usually for undergraduates, but we have a few graduates as well, which is a little bit more competitive, where the teams will practice a few times a week and then compete against other schools. This is not varsity athletics. This is just a club team where a bunch of students just want to get together and have fun.
Great, thanks, Ryan. Steve, can you tell this graduate students what the Graduate Student Showcase is and how they can get involved if they'd like?
Sure. The Graduate Student Showcase is held twice a year. We have it once in the fall and once in the spring. It's an opportunity for our graduate students really to showcase the great work that they're doing. We have graduate students that submit proposals, and we have a selection committee that will review them. But students will come in and prepare poster presentations, and they will present on their research, they'll present on their internships, their graduate assistantships, and any other experiential opportunities that they might have had inside the classroom, maybe a class project. And it's really, we get a great turnout for this event. We usually get, anywhere from 100 to 200 faculty, staff. The president comes out. We have Board of Governor members that will come in attendance specifically for this event and this program. So it's a very high-level event, and it's a great opportunity for our graduate students really to kind of share the great work that they're doing. And really for you as grad students, if you're just kind of starting out, whether it's you're just starting an internship or you're just starting your research, come out and see what some of your peers are doing. Maybe it's something that you might be interested in pursuing, and could ask specific questions. Like I said, it is a great opportunity. The next one will be in April, and that's as part of Grad Appreciation Week that the Office of Grad Services puts on. And we also give out cash prizes to the top presenters in each category for this event. So it's a growing event, and we're becoming a lot more selective. We usually have close to about 50 graduate students presenting at each showcase. So I definitely encourage you to participate, be on the lookout for emails about it. And if you aren't going to participate for the upcoming one, definitely come out and see some of the work that your peers are working on.
Great, thank you. Sharon, can you tell us why students need to have insurance here in the U.S.? And also, I heard a rumor that we're going tobacco-free. Is that true?
Yes, that's true. As of right now, I don't know exactly when, but it will be in the near future, very soon. And we're following other universities that have done this, and it would be good for our university for the health and welfare of the students and employees here. And as for the insurance, it's become a federal law in the United States now that people, you hear of the Obamacare, that people have insurance. And I know with the graduate, it's not mandatory like undergrad, but if you don't have it, it is a very good idea because now it is very hard to get health care anywhere without having insurance.
Great, thank you. And when we do officially go tobacco-free, whatever date that is, it'll be sent out via email. So please make sure that you do use and access your UNH email because a lot of information does come out from the university. Different offices and services do come out to your UNH email. Absolutely.
For international students who are graduate students, it is mandatory that you have some type of health insurance. I know that for the domestic students, you opt in, meaning you don't have to take it. For all international students, you can only opt out. You're automatically enrolled unless you can provide another type of health insurance. Like I said, we have a session after that we'll go into more detail, but every international student has to have some form of health insurance.
Thanks, Karina.
That's great. I forgot.
Ryan, if any of our graduate students are married, can they purchase a membership to the rec center for their spouse?
Yes, if you do have a spouse who lives in your house, you can purchase a spouse membership. We offer monthly memberships as well as yearly memberships for the spouse.
Ryan, I didn't know you were a poet. Spouse in the house?
No, I'm trying to rhyme here.
Karima, can you tell our new graduate students a little bit about the International Festival, when it is and what it's all about?
Sure. This year we are hosting our 35th annual International Festival. Mark your calendar. It is Saturday, April 11th, 2015. It is probably one of the biggest events on campus. It's the ISO, or International Services Office, largest event. We start planning now to get ready for April. Usually we sell out. It's up at the Charger Recreation Center or North Campus. Charger Gym, thank you. Up at North Campus. Usually we have about 15 countries that are displayed with cultural content, a lot of information. People wear custom outfits, as well as there's entertainment. There's lots of food. People usually come for the food specifically because it comes from local restaurants that have different ethnic foods. And it's a time for students, not just international students, to display their cultural background. And each year I've been doing, this will be my 4th international festival, and I learn something every single year because we always have at least one country that we've never had represented before. Like I believe last year we had Ethiopia represented, and I learned a lot from that. So I hope that everybody is able to come. Look out for emails from myself or ISO email regarding participation. Usually the sign up goes quickly. Like I said, there's only 15 spots for different countries, and we definitely have more than 15 countries represented on this campus.
It's a great, great event. It's awesome. You guys should all go. Steve, if graduate students wanted to find out about events and programs that are happening on campus, or if they have questions after hours or at one of our other UNH campuses, how do they find out that information and how do they get their questions answered?
Sure. The best way that you find out about programs and events for graduate students will be obviously via email. So I will send out emails to all graduate students, your UNH email. I try to send them out sparingly. So this way when you do get something from me, you are reading it and not just dumping it in your spam folder. But we do have lots of different programs and events at all of our campuses. Another great way to find out a lot about different programs going on for grad students is to attend some of our grad student council meetings. So after this panel, you'll actually have some grad students up here kind of talking about that, and the president of the GSC will be up here moderating that group. So she'll be able to give you more specific information. But they meet bi-weekly on Wednesdays. Their first meeting is actually coming up on Wednesday, January 14th. That'll be from 4:30 to 6 in the Alumni Lounge. But that's a great opportunity for you to kind of find out about programs. If you have ideas of things or trips or something that you like to participate or see happen, they're here for you. So they're really here to kind of, plan different events. They have community service initiatives. They'll bring in professional development speakers. They'll do different social trips. And different opportunities for you guys to kind of network with one another. So they are really a great resource for you guys as well. But my office is here. We're definitely here till at least 6 o'clock every evening when grad student classes are started. So if you ever have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out. Look on our website, follow us on social media. Like I said, we're streaming today for anyone on Twitter, #UNHGo. I'm going to take a picture of you guys shortly, and I will actually tweet this myself right now. So if you guys are not on Twitter, hopefully you are after this, and you can find yourself in the audience. But we actually have a program coming up this next 2 weeks. So this is a great opportunity. We're going to be transitioning to a unified calendar next year, meaning you guys will be on the same semester-based schedule as the undergraduate students. Right now, you're on a trimester schedule. So it's a very quiet time of the year. You guys will have no issues finding parking in the next 2 weeks. You will notice, after Martin Luther King Day, that might be a little bit of a challenge. So you might get, used to pulling in 5 minutes before class and finding a parking space. But that will change, once the undergrads are back on campus. So we have a lot of different programs and events planned for you guys. It's called Winter Grad Fest. We're actually tomorrow night, we're going to be having a wine and cheese reception. So if you guys like wine and you like cheese, and you want to meet some new students, I definitely encourage you to attend that. That'll be in the Alumni Lounge starting at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Wednesday the 7th, we mentioned the Student Resource Fair to learn about, some more of the different resources, available to you on campus and in the local area. We'll be out at the Orange campus on Thursday the 8th, and we'll actually have some more events next week, including Tuesday the 13th, we'll be doing free dinner. So if you guys are coming for class next Tuesday the 13th, the GSC is buying you guys dinner. We're opening up the cafeteria, which is normally closed, and we're buying you guys dinner. You just show up with your grad student ID, you get in, grab some dinner right before class, just as a way of saying, hey, we're here, we're thinking about you guys, and hopefully it'll help you get through class on a full stomach. So I encourage you to, definitely take advantage of all of our programs that we put on. You'll be getting an email from me later today with a list of all these different events that are going on over the next 2 weeks. So I definitely encourage you to come up to me afterwards, introduce yourself. I'd love to meet all of you. And anything I can do to make your experience here better, that is what I'm here for. So thank you.
Great. Thanks, Steve. All right, one last question, then we'll open it up to you to see if you have any questions, and that is from Matt. Matt, how can your office and the university help connect graduate students to alumni and employers?
Connecting to employers and especially our alumni is a major focus of what we do. So last academic year, we had about 215 employers on campus for recruiting students, graduate and undergraduate, which is actually quite a good number for the size of the school. And this year, we're on pace to surpass that number. And so we bring employers on campus in a number of ways. We do 3 major career fairs a year. We do one major one in the fall. This past fall, we had our Fall Career Expo that had about 85 employers and about 700 students attend, so that was an exceptionally successful event. We have one next month for engineering and science majors and science-related students. Then we'll have one at the end of March for public safety, so it's our criminal justice and forensic science and national security industries. And our one in the fall is more of a business-related type of fair. And so those are major recruiting events that we've had a lot of success with of connecting students, and we have a lot of our alumni who recruit at those events. Then we do regular on-campus recruiting schedules as well that employers will post positions that you can apply for. They select candidates to interview, then they hold those interviews right on campus. We also bring in a lot of employers and our alumni just to interact with students at networking events, at what we call etiquette dinner events as well. And then they also come in and they do presentations, they do resume reviews, they do mock interviews, they do LinkedIn reviews. And so we really spend a lot of time developing relationships with employers within the Northeast region and really starting to expand nationally as well. So just as everyone says, you keep your eye on your email, you find ways to connect with our office. We have an online site where all our jobs, internships, employers are posted. So get involved with that and stay on top of things that are coming recruiting-wise, and then just apply and stay involved and hopefully get some good opportunities.
Great, thank you, Matthew. So that's it for our set of questions. Does anybody have any questions in the audience for the panelists? If you do, just raise your hand and they'll bring you a microphone. Anyone? Yes, sir. Come on down, Joe. Joe will bring you a microphone.
Hi, I had a question regarding the international license that we have. So will that work here?
I'm sorry?
The international license. So does it work here, or we need an American license?
Sure, the international driver's license, that is a temporary license. All it does is translate your license in your home country into English. Usually it's valid for 1 year after you've gotten here. However, I advise all international students, if you're going to drive, to get the Connecticut State driver's license, because you don't know who you're getting pulled over by. And we have seen police officers who've pulled students over and they did not recognize the international driver's license. So I prefer, and many of the other schools in Connecticut prefer, that you go and get the Connecticut driver's license.
All right, thank you.
Great, thank you, Karima. Any other questions?
I have a question for Steve. You told we'll be moving to semester system next year, but we have enrolled in the trimester system, right? So next year, we would be changed to semester, or we'll continue in the trimester?
So as of next fall 2015, all students, undergraduate and graduate, will be on one unified calendar, meaning everyone is on a semester system. There is no longer going to be the trimester system.
Okay, thank you.
So you'll do trimester for this academic year, and next year you'll do semesterly. All right, we have time for one more. Over here, ma'am. Oh, it was the same question. Okay. All right, so as you heard earlier, there is a resource fair on Wednesday, January 9th in the Alumni Lounge, which is in Bartels Hall, from 3:30 to 6. So if you have questions about specific services or programs that we did not discuss today, or we didn't get to your question, please come to that resource fair, and there'll be representatives from various different offices on campus that you can talk to and learn about resources. There are a lot of other resources available to you on campus. We couldn't fit them all in today, but that's a good place to come and learn more about it. So I want to thank our panelists. Thank you all very much. And at this time, I'm going to introduce Melanie Silva, who is the president of the Graduate Student Council, which is your student government, and some of her e-board members, and they're going to talk to you about the Graduate Student Council. Thank you, everyone.